They say give the job to a busy person, and boy, is my guest today a busy person as a critical care doctor. But she's also founded a beauty line and written a book on the wellness benefits of CBD. She's so busy that I thought I'd have to interview her by putting on a surgical gown and mask and running down hospital corridors. But thankfully, all I have to do is zoom over to Washington, D.C. and say welcome to Dr. Manisha Singal. Welcome, Manisha.
Welcome, Malcolm. Good day to you and everybody that's watching your show from around the world. And thank you.
It's lovely to be talking to you. Lovely to be talking to you. You've had a busy time just recently, haven't you, with that awful pandemic, COVID?
Yes. And it's not over. It's not over. It's really a test of all of our resiliency to stay the course amongst our already busy lives.
Yeah. Now, I did say in my opening piece that you are a busy person and a busy leader. So tell us about Dr. Manisha Singal.
Absolutely. Well, first of all, hello, everyone. I'm Manisha Singal. I'm here in Washington, D.C. I'm a internal medicine and critical care specialist, as well as the chief medical officer of my hospital, Bridgepoint, right on the Capitol, Malcolm, very, very close to where all the laws are being made. My mission for the last 20 years is really to see how I can be part of a solution in somebody's life. How can I partner with my patients, demystify the fear that they're having and whatever care that they need, and really help chart that path forward. I've seen the need of this in my own family, for myself personally. And as I tell my students and my nurses and doctors, we really lead by our mission, our core values. And that's what I'm trying to do every single day of my life. So, yeah.
Brilliant. Now, tell us about this book, the CBD Skincare Solution, published by Llewellyn Publications. I can pronounce that name. It's a good Welsh name, isn't it? The CBD Skincare Solution. What's the story behind your book, and what sparked you to write it?
Absolutely. I feel a good book starts from home. What are we personally experiencing? So for me, a few years ago, I had a terrible skin reaction to chemicals in hair dye. And it erupted from my scalp to the rest of my body. Yes, I am a doctor. I do prescribe medications, but I also know that medications can be part of the problem. So for me, when my colleagues were trying to treat me, they were starting to prescribe one medication after another. And although physiologically, there's a part of me that needed it, psychologically, I was like, but this medicine has this number of side effects, this number of side effects. So I'm a firm believer in non-toxic solutions, living well, living healthy. And I wasn't getting the full relief from these cocktail of medications that I was on. Around the same time, I came across CBD, also known as cannabidiol, and George Washington University, where I did my medical school training, had some courses on CBD. And Malcolm, I have to tell you, I was really surprised, A, that there was coursework, B, that there were actual bench studies that had been done on this chemical. And one of the wonderful, interesting things about these chemicals were their anti-inflammatory properties. So, skin reactions, skin rash, skin conditions, at the heart of it is due to inflammation. And I wasn't getting the full relief from all these other cocktail drugs. I was getting some relief, but not that full relief. So I thought, I'm doing my homework. Let me experiment with CBD and see if CBD and its anti-inflammatory properties can treat my inflammation. And I had just an amazing experience. And that started me on my journey. And I'm the type of person when I learn something, I like to tell people what I learned. So writing this book was a vehicle of what I do every day, sharing my experience, sharing what I've studied, and bringing it to the public.
Okay. So, but excuse my layman's knowledge here. Why is there a stigma associated with CBD? And what can change it and when?
Now, that's a great question. CBD is one of hundreds of chemicals that come from the plant cannabis sativa. And this plant, Malcolm, has been around for 10,000 of years.
Wow.
But, it's traveled from China to my home native country, India, England, all the way down to the US. But in its travels, and more recently in this past century, it's been demonized because people associate CBD with other drugs that can not only alter our mindset, but can also alter our behaviors. So, drugs like cocaine, heroin, LSD. So in the fear of taking chemicals from this plant that can cause us to behave in ways that are suspicious and just not acceptable, it was lumped into a category of prohibition. So that's why there's this, one of the many reasons why there's a stigma on anything cannabis, let alone CBD.
Well, let's hope that your mission to change it works. Now, as someone with grey hair, I hate to call it aging. Gravitas is okay, by the way. I was excited to learn that CBD fights skin age. And so can I look 25 again? How does it work?
The secret is, Malcolm, you just have to feel 25 to look 25.
Yeah. I want to look 25, but know what I know now.
Okay, exactly. So, the interesting thing about cannabinoids and cannabidiol, our bodies from birth, we actually produce our own cannabinoids. They're called endocannabinoids from birth. So CBD and other cannabinoids from the plant, actually, they're our cousins. So what we find is that, these cannabinoids in our body, they work to bring our body into balance, to keep health, to keep our mindsets in a balance. So CBD and cannabinoids, when we take it, it really helps to influence and sort of boost our own internal systems for health and balance. So when it comes to our skin, now, by the way, skin is our largest organ. It's the most visible organ, and it really tells a story. So I'm all for natural aging, but oftentimes what we see on our skin is about either how well we live or we have not lived, or what's going on inside our body. So when we talk about, let's say, our face, and we see, lines, or we see skin discolorations, whatever that may be, or reactions, like it was in my case, what we find with CBD, again, it comes back to those anti-inflammatory properties. Our body is fighting inflammation every day. Our skin is fighting inflammation every day. So if you can imagine, this is what came to my mind years ago with my team. If we can harvest these powerful properties from cannabinoids and CBD to fight inflammation, to apply another level of, let's say, moisturizing, properties to our skin, to help our skin cells to really follow that natural cycle of aging, then naturally our skin is going to look younger, and we're going to feel better, and we're going to feel healthier. So in this way, CBD and other cannabinoids from this plant really has some pretty interesting prospects for us to not only look younger, but feel better.
Excellent. My mind's going here. Is access to CBD products becoming too easy, though, in some countries? Or does there need to be some regulation so people are sure they are buying high quality and safe products?
Great question. CBD and CBD products and marijuana is becoming too easily accessible. I can speak about my country. I'm not so well versed in other countries, but what I can say is this. Yes, we need more regulations. We have great collaboration in the United States with other countries when it comes to science, research, medical experts, advocates. So, this is a wonderful thing about, all of our countries really working together. But here in the United States, a few years ago, we did pass a little federal legislation that has allowed for CBD coming from a type of cannabis plant called hemp. Hemp is a cannabis sativa plant that has minuscule amounts of THC, So in the United States, this has been legalized, which has allowed us more visible access to CBD. But because it's not fully legalized, each state has taken upon themselves to come up with their own rules as to how it can be extracted, can it be extracted, how can it be used. And I understand that in many countries, they're going through their same variants when it comes to rules and safety. But yes, we need more regulations. We need legalization, we need education, and we need to unlock the funding to allow good scientists to really study this plant.
Well, let's hope that that happens. And you're also the founder of a beauty line. So if I can't have my 25 years look on that one, I can talk to you about Ethereal Beauty. And how do you go about marketing it, please? And can I get that 25 years look again?
I'm going to be sending a package your way and your studio.
It would need a container ship.
So my beauty line has been co-founded with a wonderful, what we call Green Lab here in Maryland, in the state of Maryland, is a skincare line, a non-toxic skincare line. So there's one line that does not have CBD, but it has a wonderful hemp seed oil, which we've used in our salads as an extra moisturizing part of that self-care skincare. And then we also have a line that features pure CBD for its anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, as well as for its moisturizing benefits. With my own personal experience with my skin reaction and knowing that I'm hypersensitive to chemicals, I'm a minimalist, really wanted a line and was really lucky. It's about luck as well. Lucky to find a group of people that are already in the industry with like mind and mission. And coming together, we were able to form this company where it really carries out our mission for a healthy skin care product.
Yeah. So how do you go about marketing then?
So nowadays with the pandemic, everything is virtual. It's through social media. We do have many organizations where we will send our products to educate them on the benefits of, and if they give us a good review and they're interested, they really then become our collaborators and our spokespeople. And I have to say this about my team, the Ethereal Beauty team and the wonderful chemists. We have won a number of awards because of their industry and because of their attention to details in putting out a really good product that's safe to use and has great benefits.
Yeah, congratulations to that. Just before we move on to the next question, Manisha, I just want to point out behind me on the screen is the URL to Doc Singal, and that then you can link into the beauty and so on like that and find out so much more about you. So make sure, viewers and listeners, you're taking that down. As I say listeners, it's docsingal.com. Sorry, docsingal.com. Okay, now let's talk leadership. You've achieved so much and you continue to do so. If I was to ask your colleagues about your leadership style, what do you think their answer would be?
It's very much collaborative. I like bringing great minds together and really encouraging them to, again, focus on what drives them. I feel that we do our best work when we believe in what we're doing. It sounds simple, but it's true. So it's not about me. It's not about the person who's sitting across from me, but to have an idea, have a focus, and really bring the group together. Now, I've been evolving professionally for over 20 years, and I've picked up some points of wisdom along the way. But I think the greatest contribution that I have to our work efforts is to really encourage that algorithm of thought. I'm a huge believer on having an algorithm of thought, and also to encouraging others to rise to the mission and make it happen.
Brilliant, brilliant. Manisha, you've been spied upon. I'm not saying who, but I've heard that your self-care routine is slightly unusual. Is it next step for you, American Idol or TikTok?
Yes, I have been spied on, and I'm told I'm a little too old for TikTok. Uh, Maybe not American Idol, but I'm not going to audition today. You
Right.
know, I love music. Music can define
Mm,
my whole trajectory of life.
yeah.
So for me, I'm in particular a fan of the music from the 80s. Don't ask me why, probably because that's from my formative years.
Mm.
But I've been known when I'm driving to turn on headliners from the movie Grease, or I have a very wide range of music.
Right.
But I'll actually sing along to songs in the shower, in the car, sometimes in my office when no one's listening. At least now I'm wondering if someone was listening. But yes, I think music is therapeutic, and um, for very scientific reasons, which I'm not going to go through, it really makes you feel good and makes me feel good.
Mm. I'm exactly the same, except I'm terrible at singing, and I'm stuck in the 60s with my Roy Orbison, Gene Pitney, all the ones that have died that I met, but they've all died. But everybody looks at me and thinks, who's he? A bit weird. But never mind, it's good to have that sort of get rid of things, isn't it? You know, Manisha, last question. So, time for my traditional granting of 3 wishes to my guest. You've 3 wishes for the future of medical marijuana. What are those 3 wishes?
Absolutely. Well, first is education. And the future is now. Now is the future. We cannot have enough education to demystify
Mm.
what is CBD, what is cannabis. Because without that education, we are really lagging behind legalization, right? So first we have to understand we need legalization to allow for great minds, scientists, advocates, doctors, to be able to have the opportunity to study it more and find other applications. How can we use this in the most safe way? And then we also need collaboration. So I think one of the great things about organizations like the World Health Organization, the international research societies, love to see more collaboration between these phenomenal groups when it comes to a shared vision of really utilizing components of this plant in our daily health.
I think those are lovely wishes. I congratulate them. Dr. Manisha Singal, thank you for a brilliant interview.
Thank you. Thank you, Malcolm. Thank you to all your listeners as well.